When we started this in 1979, there were actually 63 men's stores like this in the state of Kansas.
Wow.
I think we're down to somewhere between 8 and 10 now.
No kidding.
So if you want to get in any kind of business, you got to put your blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Yeah.
You got to be there. You can't be an absentee owner. People want to come in, they want to talk to the owner, they want to see that familiar face.
Yep.
That and do your homework.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. I've got a very special guest with me today, Alan Parker. Alan, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate that. Yes. Alan is with Bork Brothers, and they have been here for many, many years and everything there. So, Alan, I appreciate it, but let's just kind of get right into the meat and potatoes of it all. So, tell us, Bork Brothers has been here for nearly 45 years, and what has been your guys' history, and how did you guys get started here in the Manhattan area?
Thank you. Yes, Bork Brothers, we started in October 15th, actually, of 1979, so just started a new year here.
Just hit it.
And Fred Bork and myself are the owners. We started down on 3rd Street. We bought an existing business called Cunningham Shields at the time, okay. And it all took off from there. As any new business and not really knowing what we were doing, it was kind of rocky the first few years, but then we got to establish client relationships and have had some great long-standing customers. We moved to West Loop in 1986. We're there for 20 years, moved out here to 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐻 Commons in 2005, and boy, we've been here 19 years now already. Yeah. So time flies when you're having fun, I guess. So
yeah, and that's true. And then you guys have been here for, quite a while now, and it's a beautiful space that you have here. So, Alan, you guys have been here for 45 years in Manhattan. You've been a locally owned business. You have moved a little bit around town and everything, but how does Bork Brothers differentiate yourself from the other big chain stores, right? The Marshalls and the bigger box stores that everybody thinks of whenever they think of that stuff. How do you guys continue to differentiate yourself?
One thing Bork Brothers has always strived to do is offer the best customer service, and I believe we do that. We can make changes a lot quicker than a box store can, but customer service is where we're at, and we try to establish client relationships, not just customers. Yeah. Fortunately for Manhattan, it's kind of a transit type community, so we're getting new customers every day with the military, Fort Riley 9 miles away, and the university here, and all the local businessmen. We've got to know Manhattan from 45 years ago. It changed a lot.
Sure.
This was a bean field 45 years ago, soybean field. So Manhattan, the growth to the west has been very nice. We're in a shopping center that is got good retail services, so there's a lot of traffic through the center. But, it all comes down to offering the customer what they want, when they want it, and at a good price and fair price. And we've been extremely lucky to be able to do that. Also, our staff, I've got experienced clothiers who work for us, who work with us, I should say.
Yeah.
Bill Lohman, Bill Bishop, Larry Hine, our James Larson. They're our 4 main guys. Erin Smith is our tailor. She does fantastic work, and she is loaded, swamped all the time, fortunately. But yeah, it's just been offering free alterations, which big box stores don't do on clothing you buy here. You just have to get to know your customer and their needs, and they become friends. You build friends for life with some of them. So yeah. It's been a good run so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. So differentiating with relationships and everything there. That's a big piece of what I've found by doing these interviews with people is relationships are key.
Yeah.
They absolutely are key. So here at Bork Brothers, you guys offer a wide variety of things, right? Like we talked about, I was like, well, when I think Bork Brothers, I think suits, right? So, but obviously behind us, we've got a lot of different sportswear. We've got a lot of different casual, formal, everything in between. So let's talk about what you guys offer, what products you offer, and what services.
Well, yes, as Kyle said, we do offer suits, and we do off-the-rack suits. We do full custom suits, sport coats, pants, dress shirts. We carry brands such as 𝐃𝐨𝐵, Hart, Schaffner, and Marks, Baroni, and the list goes on in the clothing. Sportswear-wise, we carry a moderate to upper moderate line. That's the kind of store we're projected to be. We carry things such as Peter Millar, Johnny O, Cutter & Buck, 7 Diamonds, 34 Heritage, Bracks. The list goes on.
Yeah.
One of our lines that is kind of almost has a cult type following is 𝐾𝐿. It's an outdoor type line that people, once they get into it, that's what they want to wear.
Yeah.
But and our biggest competitor, unfortunately, is our manufacturers themselves with all their own online web presence and things like that. Johnson & Murphy shoes, Allen Edmonds shoes. That's our biggest competitor.
Yeah.
So we just have to keep offering the product so they can come in, see it, feel it, try it on. There's nothing like doing that versus getting it in the mail, sending it back because you got the wrong size and this and that. So.
And waiting the extra.
And waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Having to wait the extra minutes and days and hours to deal with it. So Alan, you guys offer a lot of casual and formal wear rentals and things of that nature. So for weddings and bridal parties and things like that, can you talk to us a little bit about what that process looks like on getting people fitted for those?
Sure. Yes, we do a lot of weddings, and prom season comes around. That's always busy too.
Yeah.
Formal wear rentals, it's a huge business. Like this weekend, I believe we have 5 or 6 weddings we're doing.
Oh, wow.
Process, obviously we deal with the bride and groom, and they'll come in 6-8 months before their wedding, and we start the process of getting selections made and what they want to wear and putting colors together with them. We work closely with them. We have one gentleman who basically handles the weddings.
Nice.
That's his main job here. But yeah, it gives you a sense of gratitude when the wedding comes off and they bring the tuxedos back that following Monday and they say, everything went perfect, it went great.
Yeah.
Everybody looked wonderful. They send you pictures you can put on your website and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big business across the country, and not only do they rent things for weddings and things like that, but we sell a lot of suits for it too. You can buy a suit for just a little bit more, and then you have it for years to come.
Yeah.
And you have your wedding suit always then.
Yeah.
But yeah, full wedding parties, buying suits. Everybody in the wedding party at that age, whether 20, 30, 40, whatever, should have a good suit in your wardrobe, because you never know when you're going to need one.
Yeah.
So it's always handy to do that, and plus of all, it'd save you money in the long run.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
yeah.
I don't know if I could fit in my wedding suit anymore.
Yeah.
It was many years ago at this point. But all right, so let's talk about your custom stuff, right? I think one of the things that most people, at least myself anyway, I always think custom, like, oh my gosh, it gets crazy. Like, I got to go through the whole process. It gets crazy expensive and all that kind of stuff. Not saying it's not expensive, but also let's talk about what that process looks like. If someone wants to get a custom shirt, a custom suit jacket, a custom sport coat, something like that, what does that look like for you?
First of all, you'll come in and we'll pick out what you want and style it however you want to. That's the advantage of doing custom. You can kind of do it exactly how you want to. As far as you want the stripes to go around and around on a suit, you can. But you come in, you make a selection of what you're going to, the cloth and fabric and style, and then we go through the measuring process. We'll have try-ons on, like dress shirts, for instance. We got try-on bodies you put on, and then we take measurements from there. It's a matter of about 15, 20 measurements. Pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
About 4 weeks later, they come in.
Yeah.
Suits, same process. Some you can get in a couple of weeks, some you can get 4 weeks. So you got to plan ahead for it.
Sure.
But those guys who like to dress yet, and a lot of them do, fortunately, they enjoy the custom part of creating their own wardrobe, basically.
Yeah.
And that's an ideal way to do it, through full custom.
Yeah.
Because your selection is, you may have a couple hundred suits to pick from and 500-600 dress shirts to pick from.
Yeah.
And if you like a particular collar on your shirts, you can do that. So
yeah,
it's unique in a way that you can, like I say, create your own wardrobe.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I know one of my favorite, I bought a custom jacket a couple years ago, and it's probably one of my favorite pieces to wear, and I wear it constantly. So I love having it. I didn't wear it today, and now I feel underdressed, but here we are.
Yeah, and one thing with custom also, even the suits you buy off the rack here in Bork Brothers, it almost is a custom fit when it goes out of our tailor shop, because we fit it to your body. So it's a wonderful suit to wear too.
So Alan, I know that you guys have, obviously we're sitting here, I see a lot of the stuff that you have, but you have a rather large section of K-State wear and everything else that comes with that. Do you want to touch on what you guys offer over there?
Yes. Well, Purple does sell here in Manhattan.
Who knew?
Yeah. But it's a unique niche for our town.
Yeah.
Like no others in some areas. They come in, they say, hey man, what's all the purple for? Some of the guys who've never been in before. They'll see our purple blazers. We're home of the purple blazer.
Yeah.
We've outfitted college department heads, presidents, athletic directors, Hall of Fame athletes out of Kansas State with our purple blazer.
That's awesome.
It's one of those things where we own the fabric to it. So that is our blazer.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's kind of unique in that area. Sportswear-wise, we carry a lot of unique some custom-made sportswear in K-State wear. We're not going to, if you're coming in to find a t-shirt or sweatshirt, we're probably not going to have that.
Yeah.
We do everything from a nice, wool blanket with the big block K on it, which is really a nice look in your sports room or whatever, your man cave.
Yeah.
To everything in between, belts, purple pants, purple shorts, purple seersucker pants. It's been a lot of fun trying to find a unique item there, and there's years where purple is really in fashion-wise, color-wise, and then there's years where it's not. So it's a challenge every season when we go to market.
Yeah.
Once in a while we'll go to one market just because that manufacturer we buy K-State from isn't at the other market. So I mean it's a big part of the business too. It's just another aspect that's fun, and the first home game, it's usually a night game, and you get all these people in who've been coming in for years, and it's kind of old home days.
Yeah.
And that's part of just the relationship you build with your customers too.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. It's been that way for years, and wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Well, that actually segues into my next question. So 45 years of being in the business here in Manhattan, locally in Manhattan, what has been your key to success with building those long-lasting relationships and being able to kind of keep those moving?
Well, I think it's really been offering them a product that is affordable, priced appropriately. Not every suit's going to cost you $200. There's $700, $800 suits in the store too.
Yeah.
But you got to cater to everybody, and being able to do that and know your customers and know their needs and their wants. There's some customers I can be able to tell you exactly what's in their wardrobe, or if they're walking in, what they're going to be looking for.
Yeah.
And then staying up to date with style. That's probably one of the more important things. Styles changed over COVID, and everybody was working from home in their sweats and everything. They come back to work, to the office, and all of a sudden, the whole style's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone from pleats and cuffs on pants and full big suits to everything slimmed down.
Yeah.
And don't worry, it probably will come back the other way too. I mean, we've seen it ebb and flow. It goes and comes.
Yeah.
And when they say don't throw that away, I may need it in 10 years. That may be right.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just, like I say, building relationships with customers, staying current with your inventory. I mean, that's one thing. You got to have your inventory turning all the time.
Yeah.
You don't want people come in and say, oh, I've seen that in here for 2 years now. What are you doing with it? So,
Yeah.
no, there's probably nothing in the store that's over 6-8 months old. So
Wow.
that's the important part.
Yeah.
Offering them something new all the time.
Staying on top of the new trends and staying on top of that stuff. How do you guys stay on top of the trends that are coming, and how do you continue to do that? I know that we've talked about going to certain conferences and going to certain markets and things that way. Can you explain a little bit about that process?
Sure. Yes, we basically go to market a couple times a year. Dallas and Chicago seem to be the two that we go to the most right now. I mean,
That's
you
convenient.
go to, yeah, pretty handy flying out of here.
Yeah.
But you can go to New York, we can go to LA, Charlotte, Vegas. I mean, they're all over. But Dallas and Chicago seem to be the good local ones or I should say regional ones that you're going to see the new and latest and greatest every time. And we're buying 6 months to a year in advance generally.
Yeah.
So we know what the style's going to be, the trends and the colors and everything like that. And then it's just a matter of putting it in and making sure your numbers work.
Sure.
But yeah, that's where we find the new things. And it seems like every time we go to market, we'll come back and say, wow, that was neat. That's something we're going to need. And that's, being a small store, something like that, we can get on top of it right away. We don't have to wait that full season. Once in a while, we can get into it right away with that manufacturer and say, okay, I want to get started with it. Let's move. Let's get ahead of the trend.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, that's staying on top of that stuff is really, I think, probably the most important thing, especially for small businesses trying to continue to grow and kind of go with the times and all that stuff. Because if you're not growing, you're dying at that
That's
point,
right.
right? So, what does the future look like for Bork Brothers in the next 5-10 years, whatever that may be?
Okay. Well, we were hoping, that sales continue good and will Manhattan to continue to be a strong area for us. We don't only service Manhattan, but we reach out. We're trying to spread our wings, I guess, get into more of a regional northwest or northeast Kansas. But we literally have customers all over the United States. My best customer probably lives in Ohio.
Really?
But it's one of those things where a lot of your advertising now is done socially, social media, things like that. I can't tell you the last time we put a newspaper ad in, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's what we're trying to do now to grow. We need to just keep expanding your customer base all you can, and by doing that, we just need to keep getting a larger area that we try to cover. And it's nothing to have a person from Topeka, Salina, Kansas City, Wichita come up and they're here to buy. Because when we started this in 1979, there were actually 63 men's stores like this in the state of Kansas.
Wow.
I think we're down to somewhere between 8 and 10 now.
No kidding.
So it's not a dying breed, but it has been advantageous to us to be able to somehow, through our great clients here in Manhattan and the surrounding areas, be able to stay in business. And it's just a fun occupation to be in. You're not going to get filthy rich over it or anything like that, but you're your own boss and you get to meet a lot of great people.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, that's the important part, just being passionate about what you do. I think it's the most important part anymore. So, all right, so before we wrap it up, I always like asking this question. It's been 45 years. We've talked about that a lot. What has been, anybody watching this video, what would you give them as a piece of advice? Maybe it's an entrepreneur, maybe it's someone looking to dress a little better, whatever that may be. What is your one piece of advice for anyone watching this video?
As far as if you want to get into any kind of business, you got to put your blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Yeah.
You got to be there. You can't be an absentee owner. It just, people want to come in, they want to talk to the owner, they want to see that familiar face.
Yep.
That and do your homework. and it's, you know, it's always great. You know, oh, I see this as great business, easy. All they do is come in, they keep buying from you. Well, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on there.
Yeah.
And we've been very fortunate to have a great staff, and that's one thing you got to be able to do. Have good people working for you and let them do their job.
Yeah.
And other than that, a lot of luck too. So, yes.
I get that.
And if you're on the other side and you're a customer, you know, plan ahead too.
Yeah.
I mean, do your same homework.
Yeah.
You know, research out. Just because you can go online and click that button, they'll send you something, doesn't mean it's the best deal.
Yep.
So, it's always fun to shop local and get to know your local haberdasher.
Yeah.
And then keeps everybody in business, and those tax dollars go and stay in the community. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, I love that, and that's a lot of what it is. I mean, that's why I love Manhattan, and you know, just the shop local thing. I mean, that's probably one of the best things about Manhattan is that everyone supports locally. They try not to go to the big box stores if they don't have to. So, okay, so before we wrap it up, I do have how does anybody watching this video, how do they get a hold of you? Do they walk in, do they call, do they email? How do they get a hold of you as far as that goes?
We're located at 331 South Wind Place in �\𝐸𝐿 Shopping Center. We share the parking lot with Panera Bread and the Target centers here. You can do that. We're on Facebook. We have a website, BorkBrothers.com. Our K-State website is 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭. And you can get on that. You can look most things. The best way to do it, come in and experience it.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to do it. A lot of the young people out there, all they've known is to shop here and shop there. Come in and experience it and see what it's like to be really catered to when you're buying that next item.
Yep.
And I think you'll enjoy it, and we'll look forward to having you in.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Before we wrap it up, anything else you want to add?
No, thank you for
Okay.
the opportunity.
Oh, of course. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, I cannot stress enough, you guys, just looking around the room here, there's so much here to choose from. And you know, coming in and being able to touch and feel and to feel the jacket on your body and feel the pants on your body and everything along those, that's a crazy important piece, instead of like Alan just said, clicking that button and getting there and it's too short or too tight or anything along there. They will help you here. So if you know of anybody who is interested in dressing a little nicer, or maybe you want to make someone dress a little nicer, reach out to them, share this video with them, have them come in and talk to Alan, talk to the group here, and see what they have here, because you guys will not be disappointed. It's an absolute fantastic selection of clothing here. Clothing, shoes, socks, whatever you need. If it's a formal wear or casual formal, you're gonna have it, because they also have the quarter zips, and they have a lot of just fantastic clothing lines here that I would highly recommend that you come in and check out. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you are enjoying this content, go and hit that subscribe button, go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content, and give us that like, because it does help us grow the channel. Alan, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.